Hello, everyone, back again. I don't know how long I can record, whatever. Long story short, there may be people in and out. You can see it is now 11 o'clock at night. I did some walking. I talked to Silent Castle. I think we'll probably talk about that stuff later. A lot of stuff's coming up soon. I'd like to do reaction videos when Silent Castle gets around to it, or I can figure out how to do them. I don't have many tablet, whatever you want to call them, devices to record on, very busy, etc. So that's a good little preamble here. I'm taking my mind off everything that I can at the moment that's like nonsense. I want to try to catch up on some wrestling stuff. I kind of know what's going on, but I don't follow it like I used to even months ago. I used to know what happened on each Raw, what everyone thought of it, this and that. It was very exhausting, I'll be honest. It wore me down. I did it for many years. I remember during like 2020, I took a break from it because honestly, it's a blur to me how much of a break I took from it. But there were certain people and certain things I didn't watch during that time, and then I picked it back up after a lot of the restrictions went away and so forth. I've never really been like a weekly watcher. Excuse me, not never. Um, Not since maybe 2014, 2015. I used to watch it very regularly when I had cable and I was much younger. Um, then I started working and I would catch like a Raw every now and then or a SmackDown. Every weekend I would work. Every Monday night I didn't get off work until late generally, so I maybe would catch a little bit of Raw if I really got lucky, but most of the time I didn't. Um, so I mean, if you go back and look at some of my channels, like probably XOY and I have videos of like I remember when the night that Shane McMahon returned, that was a big one. I caught that. I was living in basically I had the basement to myself. It was a very well done basement. It had carpet, it had everything, a shower, and I would do my running and all that. Like I used to run and like I would run during the show. I would run back and forth um, and whatnot. It was that big. Like it was the size of the house. It was very nice. It wasn't just like, oh, I'm stuck in a like no. It was I had roommates and all that stuff too. So it wasn't like my mother's that joke or whatever. Which that's the joke that this guy makes too. I'm gonna check him out. I've got a lot to say here. I'm trying to cut the preamble here as quickly as I can. I know I'm gonna keep interrupting. Um, Hopefully, I don't know that someone's gonna really complain of me trying to show JD's content. I think he's actually a pretty knowledgeable guy on wrestling. I think he gets himself worked up a lot more than he should. Like he used to be a lot worse. I think he's really relaxed a lot more for whatever reason. And I mean, I have my different opinions. It could change at different times and so forth. But for the most part, I listen to him when I agree with what he says and so forth, and when I don't agree or don't want to listen to it, whatever. But I think he's worth checking out if you're like a casual like. I don't want to say like if you're a casual fan, I would recommend just being a casual wrestling fan because it's like once you know everything, it's not as fun. But I see like 5 or 6 videos he made that are like cut because I think he'll do like live streams that are hours long, and then I think he cut some topics up into certain videos. Like I do that myself sometimes. It's not as professionally looking as he is. He's put a lot of stuff into it. Long story short, I don't want to like come off as disrespectful or anything to him. Um, but I mean, I think if you're a JD fan or you know anything about him, you kind of know what you're getting. I like him. I think he's pretty good. Um, I agree with him a decent amount of time. So basically, I'm reacting to some of his content from recent and see what he has to say, what he's hearing. I'll be honest, I'm disappointed at what he said about he thinks Sami Zayn's going to win the Royal Rumble this year. I remember they were talking about that back in 2017, and it made no sense then. But now it actually does make sense with Triple H as his buddy and the whole Saudi Arabia connection and how Saudi Arabia is basically the religion of Sami Zayn. It doesn't surprise me. But yet Sami Zayn is all pushing for a lot of different other stuff that I don't really know. I just don't know. I don't want to get into it. That's more esoteric stuff. But anyways, now that the preamble's done, I don't know if I'm just going to cut this and then start a new video because I didn't realize it was going to be a 5-minute preamble. But yeah, long story short, I'm hoping to do some JD content, reaction. Actually, while I'm here, because I don't know if this is going to get copywritten for some reason. I don't think he's going to copyright me if he sees it or whatever. I mean, it's just putting more, what do you call it? Like, more eyes on his stuff. Like right here, the Foss was back, like making fun of Goldberg. I don't agree with that. Like, he's going to have one more match and he's going to probably get his butt whooped. And maybe he wins, okay? Big deal. He wins the world title, and then that's what other people are saying, like, oh, he's going to win the title from Goldberg just to drop it to Seth Rollins and the Money in the Bank cash-in. What's so wrong with that? I mean, if you're going to do it, I don't want Seth Rollins beating anybody else. I don't want him to have the title. He just had the title in 2022, and then he did nothing when he wasn't champion. Like, this guy, he doesn't do anything when he's not the champion, but yet when he's a champion, he's boring as heck. Like, I don't understand what's so great about it. To me, I don't think he's been that good since 2016. Since he came back, he's never been the same after his injury. I'm glad the guy can still wrestle and make money and so forth. And he has a child and married and all that, but like, he's not the same as he used to be. He was a lot more unsafe, but he was a lot more athletic too. So it's like, if you could just change his athleticism to safe and he's not hurting wrestlers like Sting and John Cena, then sure. So I'm just going to show what he has to say here. He's got a video. This is not a remote I'm used to using, and there's these little buttons that I'm not paying attention because I'm looking at the screen to make sure the camera's on. That take me to Netflix and Disney and all these different things. That's not what I want right now, obviously. I want YouTube. I want to go to JD from New York 206. Or JD from NY 206. If you're searching for him. But I mean, obviously, NY is New York. So he's got like a video on Karrion Kross. A lot of people know he really hasn't been used that well for many years, and he and Scarlett's contracts, I believe, are coming up because they got re-signed in 22, and usually they do 3-year contracts. So around August or so, he has a good chance of leaving again and going somewhere else, whether AEW or, I don't know. He didn't really do well in TNA. They kind of kept him locked down, but it's new management now. MLW kept him down and all that. Like, I don't know. It just seems like he was in a lot of bad positions with Scarlett. So he's talking about how people are criticizing Karrion Kross or whatever, and then some people really want Karrion Kross to be pushed. I want to see him get a chance. I don't think he's really had a chance since NXT. And then people were like, oh man, Triple H is going to do him well. Triple H hasn't even barely used him. Like, he's a backstage character is all he is. He wrestles once in a great while, which is, I guess, fine, but why doesn't he have a bigger part of the show? And Scarlett, she can do all kinds of stuff. She never wrestles. She can sing. She can act. She can ring announce, anything, but they don't use her for that. So, I mean, I got my own theories on a lot of that stuff. You know, these people are just trying, a lot of wrestlers are just trying to hang around, stay in good graces so they can get producer roles and whatnot. And I feel like that's what Karrion Kross said. And then also, I saw an interview by Karrion Kross that said something about he wanted to possibly have children. So maybe Scarlett will end up being a mother soon. So it wouldn't shock me if, say, maybe Karrion Kross does re-sign with WWE. Maybe Scarlett's not with him. And the fans cry. So you see what I'm saying? It's such a deep subject that it's like you're literally you're going into other people's lives and thinking that you know what's going on, but you don't always know what's going on. And I can understand, all the different things. Like, yes, it is kind of hard to control all this stuff and make plans, like Triple H said. But yet, he shouldn't come out and say that kind of stuff. Like, oh man, this is so much harder than it looks. Then you shouldn't be doing your interview saying that stuff. Or maybe you should get someone who's better than you at booking. To me, I could probably name about 5-10 people off the top of my head that have a chance to be just as good as Triple H or better. And that's just my opinion. I think that they make a lot more sense when he just pushes like his buddies. And I know I'm talking to an audience here, if anyone were to see this. So it's like, why would I even go out of my way to say certain names? And, you know, people will be like, well, I don't agree with your opinion. Like a Jim Cornette or a Vince Russo or a Disco Inferno or a Conan or any of these people. There you go. There's a few names that, why, if they had a chance, why not? You know, it's whatever. Because Triple H is married to Stephanie. That's the only reason he really is at the high position he's in. And he's held a lot of people down. And he's Vince's son-in-law. Like, come on, dude. You had your way in. Anyways, yeah, it's just a no-win situation most of the time. It really is. With social media and all that, people, I don't know if they know the kind of stuff that I do with this stuff, what people do, and the fans, they go crazy. There's fans stalking wrestlers and all this different stuff now. You know, I can believe there's some truth to that. I also wouldn't be shocked if they were playing their role as, you know, they were told to do these things and whatnot. Like Sonya Deville specifically. You know, supposedly someone broke into her house and whatnot. And why would someone just break into your house, like, and stalk you or whatever? Like, I don't know. Seems like another way to get rid of bang bang events. You know, those certain things that you carry, and get more protection on you. And next they'll say, we need more police presence, we need more military presence, da, 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 da. You know, these people are part of it all. So whatever. I apologize that I've rambled on. I'm going to probably cut this anyways. Doesn't really matter if this video goes up separately than my review. I suppose I'm going to have to listen to these on regular speed and so forth. But here's kind of what JD's talking about. He's got the Cody Rhodes heel turn, then Pat McAfee news. I don't know. They've talked about the heel turn for a while. They've talked about that since AEW and all that. Who knows? Liv Morgan injury. Yeah, she got hurt, so now she's going to be out of Evolution, which is the women's show. And she was obviously going to be a decent part of the show. So there she is mocking The Rock's gimmick. Like, okay, why? I could go on and on about the neck thing. And yeah, that's a whole other thing. Britt Baker may come into WWE. She was in AEW for a while. She's been off TV forever, so don't know. See, these are very, like, clickbaity type things. I feel like a lot of people do these nowadays. Tony Khan lies about AEW success. Yeah, that's probably true. Seth Rollins that's probably the news of Seth Rollins possibly adding Ricky Saints and Ethan Page to the faction. I'm torn on it. I feel like those two guys are just going to be the jobbers of the group, and then the big dudes are going to be, like, you know, whatever. But then why aren't the big dudes the tag champions or something? Like, it doesn't really make sense. AEW has officially gone creatively bankrupt. Yeah, Okada versus Omega, a match that they did 8 years ago, and they're going to do it again. This is hilarious. The JD, he used to just be so much into, you know, apologizing for Triple H, and here he is talking about, like, how he disrespected R-Truth. I agree there. It might be a racial thing. We're not, you know, people won't believe that. There's another video 2 weeks ago. Karrion Kross might be leaving. We already knew that. Triple H may be gone 18 months. I hope so. Get him out of creative. Make him. I've said to other YouTubers and stuff, I'm like, make him, like, teach promos, teach character, teach entrance, because he had a good entrance and whatnot. Like, why not? Just have him do something else. Make him even a producer. He'd be better at than a creative. Like. But with him there and the power that he has inherently, it's not going to change. And then more of that. And then Mariah May went to WWE. Now she's Blake Monroe, MVP on Triple H. Thank you guys for watching. I got to cut it before I can't be able to upload at 50 minutes. God bless you guys. Have a good day. Bye then.